Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Fell into Food Podcast. I am your host, Chef Jeff Fell. And guess what? We told you we were going to give you a part two with the mushroom
part
farm
two
here at Windy City Mushrooms with John. So I've been on a regular farm. Now I'm in a mushroom farm. And a little bit different. We got more concrete.
Yeah, we got a lot more concrete. We're in a city now.
Exactly. So we're on the south side of Chicago. Yeah. So, John, thanks again for jumping on doing this part two.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
I think people wanted to see the actual operation.
I think people need to see where their mushrooms come from.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So maybe just talk about what we're going to see today, and then we'll just start hitting it and start hitting some rooms.
Absolutely. So we're going to be going through our production facility where we manufacture the entire process here. So you're going to see our production line, our clean room, our incubation, and then all the beautiful containers that we grow the mushrooms in. So you can really understand from start to finish how mushrooms grow and where they come from.
All right, let's not waste any time.
Let's go. Check out our cool misters. All right, ready to do it?
Let's go.
Do it. So this is the production side of our facility. This is where all the magic begins. This is our bag production area where we take byproducts from other industries such as hardwood and soy hull, and then we put them into our bagging machine, and let's show you the process. So right here, we're in front of our pneumatic bagger. So what we do is we take bags, we load them into our auger system. The pellets get augered up. We then allow our amazing bag design that was created by my partner, Guy Furman. It's a pneumatic bag filler, so it fills up with a volume of water to substrate into an 8-pound block that gets put into this medium, and it allows it to expand over a period of time. Then we're gonna go this way, and it turns them into this nice brick. And what we use here is a polypropylene bag, so it allows it to be sterilized at over 250 degrees. And this little filter right here literally changed the entire mushroom industry, allowing us to grow mushrooms within these bags to allow enough air exchange, because mushrooms, just like us, release CO2 and breathe in oxygen. So we take these bags, roll them.
What was that little white piece? Did you explain?
Oh yeah, let me explain that.
What that is.
So this is a micropore filter. So
Okay.
It's at a different micron. So this is a 0.2 micron. So it allows some air to be exchanged, but doesn't allow other bigger particles of bacteria to come in there.
Got it.
So this is basically the breathing port for the bag, so that air can exchange, so it can get what it needs, and it can colonize at the rapid pace that it needs to colonize at.
Cool.
And then so we take this brick, load them on here, and then we'll take you over to our autoclave. So this right here is a steam sterilizer. It's a 20-foot autoclave that we load 300 bags at a time and cook them at 250 degrees for 4 to 5 hours. This then gives us a sterile medium so that we can inoculate it with more grain spawn. And I know that probably doesn't make sense yet, but we're gonna go into the next room and I'm gonna show you what grain spawn does to these bags.
Maybe also, what kind of building are we, what did you retrofit to make all this happen, right? We're in this big warehouse.
Yeah, so
it's facility, it looks like, again, like a giant atomic bombs chamber, but maybe talk about some of the history of this building.
Yeah, so this building specifically used to build engines for World War II planes and tanks.
Wow.
It is actually connected to the military base across the street, and there's a tunnel underneath here that goes all the way to Midway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like when private officials needed to do something, they could go under there just in case. There actually used to be an entire garden on the top of here, because during World War II, they were afraid of getting bombed. And so they made it blend in so that nobody could see. So when we got this, it was an open format, but we were able to retrofit it to our liking and as we needed. So this was seriously just a blank canvas that we figured out how to make the blueprint. My partner is a really, really skilled engineer as well. So he's a great mind in invention and creating this. And we were able to just piece it all together, man.
All right, cool.
So
on to the next?
On to the next. Let's do it. So we're going to go into our clean room next, which is a positive pressured room that allows us to keep a more sterile environment when we are inoculating our bags. So this is the other side of the autoclave where the bags would then open out to and then come into our positive pressured clean room. So this room gets steriled with UVC light to kill other bacteria and particles, as well as chlorine dioxide at night to spray out any other bacteria. And what we have here now on the other side is fully cooked substrate bag. So now this is a sterile medium bag that's been cooked for about 4 to 5 hours. And now we know we can take it and get ready to inoculate it with grain spawn, which is the medium that will then turn this into a ready to go mushroom block.
So that grain spawn, where is that coming from? How does that process work?
So the grain spawn is something that we used to do in-house here for probably about a year's time. But we realized that because it is such an art and because we are so focused on the growing capacity of it, you need a much more sterile environment.
Okay.
So what we did is we found a good friend of ours down in Kankakee.
Oh.
And so he works with local farmers to get local grains, and he works with all of our strains. So we've set him up with our winter strains, our summer strains. And so he makes the grain spawn and then brings it over here.
Okay.
So we buy probably like 100 bags a week to use to inoculate everything.
So again, it's a whole ecosystem of local, right? People think that, you know, stuff's coming from
Oh yeah,
everywhere,
no. The whole point of all of this was to keep it within Illinois. So how can we just use what's around us that, you know, even the hardwood and the soy hull, it all comes from Indiana and Illinois. You know, so it's everything that we're using is from here, and that's why you feel the difference in our mushrooms.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah. All right, let's roll. Oh, it's a cool one. You guys get to see some pink oyster mushroom spawn today. So this is grain spawn, and grain spawn is a combination of millet, rye, wheat, or oats, right? So you can kind of see on there, you can see the millet that's up in there. And what you're seeing here is pink oyster mycelium. So when it grows pink because that's the color that it comes out about. So when you break it up, so what this is doing is basically it's been inoculated with a plate of agar. Agar is, so how I would take a mushroom to clone it to keep going is I would take an inside wedge of the stem or at the cap. I would then take that small little piece and put it onto an agar dish, which is just a gelatin sugar. Mushrooms love sugar. So they'll expand out on that plate. I will take the leading edge of mycelium that looks the strongest, that's the most viable. I will take a wedge of that. I will transfer it one more time to make sure that it's clean. Once I know that it's clean, I will take that plate and I'll put it inside of here.
Okay.
That little bit of agar eats this entire bag.
Wow.
And then so that medium becomes a super nutrient dense inoculum that adds a bunch of inoculation points to the bag. So because we use the millet and the small oats, it's able to spread out to the entire bag so that we can get an even colonization rate.
Okay. And then I know we're going to maybe see some, but maybe talk about this strand, the pink variety. It looks really cool.
Oh, it's super cool. It's super beautiful. And so the cool thing about mushrooms is that they're temperature dependent and they're condition dependent. So in the summertime, we flip out from like winter blues and winter browns into summer whites, pohus, and then pinks. Pinks love their tropical mushrooms. So they love 80 degrees in summertime. So we try to provide that all summer long. But we don't sell them at grocery stores or anything. They only have like a 3-day shelf life. And when they go bad really fast.
So you can probably get those from the farmers market you guys go to.
Absolutely. So farmers markets get them all week. So we try to provide that to the customer base so that they can get a new variety of oysters as we go along. And then so what's happening here is we're working in front of a homemade flow hood. So this flow hood pushes out 99.9% HEPA filtered air. So while they're working in front of it, they know that they're not getting particles or bacteria or anything coming into the bag. So they're keeping themselves sterile by not breathing into the bag, keeping their hands sanitized, putting about 6 ounces of grain spawn into each bag. And then it goes through the sealer, seals, and then mixed on the opposite side. So let's go over to the mixing and we'll show you how the next process is done. So this little beauty is an invention from my partner, Guy Furman, who wanted to make it a little easier for our guys to break up some of these bags so that we could spread down the grains a little bit easier. So this helps break up the block. It then goes to Kevin, and Kevin has a process that we've created. It seems like he might be just flipping the bag, but we have worked on this over and over and over again to know how much we have to flip the bag and how much we need to mix up that inoculum. He also has a backup sealer in case anything goes wrong. And then what he's going to do is make sure that that bag is fully sealed. He's going to shake it, flip it, mix it up, because what I need is an even distribution of those grains all throughout the entire block, so that I know when it goes into incubation, it's going to be done colonizing in about 12 to 14 days. We really like to do consistency with mushrooms, and mushrooms love consistency as well. Let's go to the next area. So once the bags go from there, they come into the name that I've coined is the mushroom library. And so we have different full sections of the bags that are incubating. And so this entire row is oyster mushrooms. This entire row is lion's mane mushrooms. And everything here is on a time cycle. Everything here is incubating for 14 days. We're tracking and watching the colonization rates and seeing how the mushrooms are performing. So one thing that you can see now is you saw that really dark block. You saw the white block of spawn. And so this is the in-between process where it's almost there and it's almost complete. So this bag has now been fully colonized with that grain spawn, and all that little grain spawn turned to all this white mycelium. And so now it's about a couple days left until this is fully consumed. Once this is fully a consumed white brick, we know it's time to go into the grow room.
So you're saying 2 weeks. So you're just tagging each one. Now, is there a way that you guys are using any computer systems to log this as well? So you're not having to walk, or are you guys doing it the old school manual way?
Do the old school manual way,
looking at every single rack of when they are. And I'm sure there's some kind of FIFO type system.
So there is a system within here. What goes in must get pushed back, and everything gets pulled within a time sequence.
Wow.
So as this gets pulled, new racks go in. And so we've created a flow system within here so that they know what rows to pull from to see which ones are ready. But yeah, we do it the old school way because it keeps accountability. At this rate, just more computers. I understand it would probably be easier at a certain point, but right now for us, they come in here every day because you need eyes on this stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure you're probably checking on quality. Is it growing like it's supposed to?
Absolutely, because we need to know ahead of time. Like mushrooms are very unpredictable, and like now we've got it down very safely, but we still have to troubleshoot all the time. And I know if, say, 4 or 5 racks didn't make it and they're not colonizing, well, I know that's going to mess up production, right? So I know I need to either increase more or get ready to stock less because it's kind of dependent on what the mushrooms want to do. And these were problems that we've dealt with for 3.5 years. And now at about year 4, we've got it down.
Yeah.
So we worry a lot less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, man. So after they're done incubating in here, this is the third part of the process. And then the coolest part is now going into the grow rooms.
Well, how long before we go in the grow rooms? How big kind of is this space, and how much product are you able to kind of incubate?
So this whole facility is 50,000 square feet.
Okay.
This right here is probably 15 to 20,000 square feet with about 30 to 35 foot high ceilings. So we can get Home Depot style racking and start elevating up if we want to expand out. So our facility is designed to do about 12 to 15,000 pounds a week. Right now we're at about 6,000 pounds a week. But you'll see that we have more space for more containers to come. So as that expands out, the only way that we can do this is going up. And that's why you'll see, like on the grow rooms, we went up with them so that we can utilize the space even more. So really the whole vertical farming idea and utilizing this gigantic space.
Right, you don't have to expand your footprint. You can literally just vertically go
vertically
up
just go
double, triple your space.
Correct.
In the same.
Absolutely. So yeah, that was the whole concept of having such a big room here. And as well as we're starting to do some third-party work for other companies that are removing PFAs and plastics out of waste material. So we're growing the substrate for them, and then they're bringing it back to their customers. That is then taking on carpet, insulation, and tile, remediating it, taking all the PFAs and plastics out of it, turning it into a powder, and then selling it back to the company so that they can put chemical-free product back into their mix.
And that's something.
It's so cool. Yeah, it's actually this company right here, Microcycle.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, those ones back there, are they a little bit further along in the process?
Yeah. Or... so yeah, because everything's not perfect. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
let's see like the things that go weird in a mushroom farm, right? So we wanted to grow some Black Pearl King trumpets, and we've done it before. We've done it plenty of times, and it was kind of just a miscommunication thing, and we ordered them the spawn ahead of time and put it in production thinking that we would be okay temperature-wise. But these bags, this strain specifically, doesn't grow in this heat. So we're just keeping our fingers crossed that we can kind of maintain these bags and they won't overly do too much. but you can see that they're growing at a rapid pace. So
wow, yeah.
here, you can feel it, but let's see this. So this right here is mushroom piss.
There's terminology for you, mushroom piss. Never heard that one.
So they're metabolites. And so the mushroom, when it's stressed out, releases this enzyme, and it's a sign that there's stress within the bag. So it's not that it's bad or that it's contaminated, it's just their stress signal letting us know that something's not wrong or that something's wrong. So like these bags, probably not gonna make it, but like I said, we don't really waste anything around here. So we'll see what we can do with it. If not, I'll just mix it up and give it out to gardens or farms for substrate they can mix in, and it'll grow in the fall time.
Yeah, really cool. I want to swing over to those pinks. I see them over there.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to show everyone the pinks in that incubation process.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, even during the incubation process, they're one of the most, so oyster mushrooms are some of the most vigorous strains on the entire planet. When it comes down to actually mushrooms as a whole, oysters are technically the strongest. They will be able to rip through anything, and they're able to grow on almost any medium.
Wow.
And yeah, Jeff, so you can see here, this is called the primordial stage of the mushroom growth. And so they are pinning and getting ready to reach for air because they're telling me it's time. I need to get the heck out of this bag,
Right.
So this is a clear sign that it's ready to go, and this shelf will go in there within like a couple days.
And that's what we're gonna see. We're gonna see them.
Yeah, we're gonna see them.
They're coming out.
Their beauty.
They're gonna
yeah,
breathe.
for sure. We're gonna go see them. All right, let's go
see those.
And so, let me talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool. And so right now, Windy City Mushrooms is producing around 6,000 pounds a week out of 50 containers that we currently have. Our capacity is, like I was saying, to get up to 12 to 15,000 pounds a week, and we're going to be doing that over the next 6 months. We've locked up some larger customers, and the demand is truly growing for oyster mushrooms and lion's mane mushrooms. And so in a matter of times, we'll be the biggest mushroom farm in the entire Midwest, and everybody's going to be getting super affordable mushrooms super conveniently. There you go, Jeff. So now we're going to take you over to the grow room area. Yeah, Jeff, I didn't even take you up to the upstairs.
Yeah,
we can go to the whole tree house here. So let me back up a little bit. Bloop, bloop, bloop. This is our new set of grow rooms. So the first set was down there. This is the new set. We've learned a lot being here. We've done nothing but fail forward and improve the system as a whole. We figured out at this rate that we needed larger vent pipes to exchange more air out of the building so that these rooms are more conditioned specifically for lion's mane mushrooms. So we split the grow up where the first set of rows is for oyster mushrooms because they can handle a little bit of a rougher environment. But the lion's mane, they're very sensitive, they're very particular. So we need to make sure that they stay at this temperature range that they like and are getting the air exchange that they want. Each room is an old shipping container that we have retrofitted and custom fitted to turn into a mushroom grow container. Each container is equipped with a humidity box that has a 12-disc fogger that releases humidity into the room. And as this pipe, as the humidity goes in, there's an air exchange pipe that is releasing all the air out of the room so that we can regulate the CO2. And the CO2 can't get too high, otherwise the mushrooms will malform. So all we are doing is trying to create a perfect air exchange environment for the mushroom to have its best condition possible.
And now these orange boxes that you got, that you also have the ability to control, right? You have some technology, right?
Yeah.
It's not all.
So we're not in the dark over here, okay? We are a little tech savvy here. And so we have an application here that it basically controls the entire facility. Wow. So it turns on that autoclave, it checks the cooler temperature, it turns on the fan at night when it gets cool enough to pull in more air, and then it also controls every single grow room. Let's go back to fruiting old. And then so here you have your average room temperature, the average humidity, what grow cycle it's on. So we have different formats for pin initiation, fruiting, harvesting, because once the rooms are finished, we want to totally clean them out and let them dry out because flies are a problem for us, right? And flies love moisture. So during the cleaning process, the whole room gets taken apart. Wow. The entire thing, pipes, everything gets done, bleached, sprayed, cleaned completely. so that we can give it 2 days to dry out. So when the fresh batch goes in there, there's no flies and there's no
good sterile
yeah, good sterile
Perfect,
environment for them to just be able to rip through. So yeah, this has allowed us to not have to live here, you know, for the most part. So it helps us really regulate. And there's control sensors on here. So it notifies me like, hey, room 16, okay, the humidity hasn't been working for 8 hours. All right, what's going on? And it's like, it doesn't matter if I had millions of dollars of fancier equipment, shit just happens, you know, life be lifing.
Exactly.
You know, and so stuff happens and you just got to be prepared and watch it. That's why we're a 24/7, 365 business. And so there's always something going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see a room.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. Come on.
So now you said we are in the lion's mane.
So we're in the lion's mane room.
Look at this.
It's just a sea of them. They're beautiful. They are not fully developed yet. They're not fully ready. They are still in their growing stages. You can see that the color is changing here because this is beginning to grow its fur. So you can see a little bit more development. There we go. This guy, they always grow a little faster by the door because there's more air exchange. But you can see even from this development it's pretty flat, it's pretty flat, it's pretty flat. But then there's the spindles. And they're starting to form, and it's going to get longer and longer and longer and get that real, true lion's mane look to it. And why do we grow lion's mane mushrooms and oyster mushrooms specifically? Because we know that they're the most in-demand mushrooms at the moment, and we believe that they are the best meat substitute on the planet as well. So anybody who's looking to replace meat with mushrooms, this is really the best consistency, flavor, texture profile that you can go for. But the real superpower of lion's mane mushrooms is that they've been shown to help aid in preventing Alzheimer's and dementia by increasing nerve growth factor inside of your brain. So taking this, not only eating it, people feel it within hours of eating it. Jeff's a living example of it. He felt it instantly. So eating it or taking it as a supplement that we make medicinal dual extracted tinctures that you can take on a daily basis to help with better focus, clarity, and concentration. It's allowing new neurons in your brain to wire and fire that have never been going on before, so you can make new connections and get rid of a lot of that brain fog that you have. And I think it's very funny that it kind of looks like a brain and it helps your brain. Isn't that funny? Nature always little giggles at that one.
Yeah, and check out part 1 if you want to see us cooking this product.
Yeah, if you want to see how to make chicken nuggies.
We did steaks,
yeah.
So we did a lot. So we showed a few ways, and again, I know a lot more mainstream is coming to it. I know the ACF is kind of, again, I had Don on, and he talks about how it's blooming and how they want to learn more about it.
Yeah.
So again, it's starting to hit that kind of, I think it's still an early adoption, to be honest.
Oh man, I know, and I've been doing this for 8 years, and I feel like it's not even close to peaking yet, and it's still not even, because that education that we were talking about.
Yeah.
You know, no more people need access with it so that they can play with it. You know, I was amazed how many chefs, when we used to focus on restaurants, were, you know, Michelin stars and this and that, and they've just never had access to it. You know, so how do I expect people to know what to do with these things? So the more we get it out there, the more people will see the power and the reality of that this is just a superior choice than really a lot of the other options that we're given.
Yeah, so what do you do like to get them out of the bag, right? Like we saw them kind of wanting to burst out, know, in the room, but then how do you really like?
Hey Jeff, you want to grab me that bag that was up there?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's talk about that process, right? So when we are, we're just gonna move this guy for a sec. There we go. Can that see us? You know what? Why don't you come over? You hold.
Here, we'll do
that. Let's put them anywhere. You hold, and I'll show.
All right.
So during this process, what happens is we do 2 cut points. So normally there's a small cut here and a small cut there. So otherwise they grow out into a really, really large mass. And our customers just don't need that big of a mass. So we try to grow 2 big heads on here. This one grew a little larger on this side. So when we know that it's ready, and I'm going to do this a little early, but you know, we're here for the people. So you cut the bag, it allows the air exchange to happen. It starts at a primordial stage. And at this stage, it's about ready. So what I'm gonna do, take, twist.
That easy.
And now you got it. It's all about the twist.
It's all about the twist. Wow.
So now that there's this opening here, this will reform with mycelium and another mushroom will pop out.
So how many times are you doing that?
So I could get about 4 flushes out of an 8-pound block. And so you're talking about 3.5 pounds from this block alone. But since we are in a production standpoint, I only do 1 flush. If it gets to 2 flushes, that's like a win for us. But I get about 2 pounds per flush on the first one. And because what we have to mitigate is the flies and the contamination. So the longer those bags sit in here, the more problems that arise. So it's just easier for us to get what we want out of the first one. And then if we get an extra half pound or pound, fantastic.
And all the harvesting is done by hand.
Everybody, every single morning, my entire crew comes in here. There's about 4 guys that come in at around 5 o'clock in the morning. They go through every single room that's ready. They chuck the CO2, they come in and then harvest every single mushroom that is in here so it can get packed for the day, because we harvest fresh for everybody. So if you're getting a mushroom from us, it was just harvested a day or 2 at latest.
Wow.
You know, so we're trying to provide the freshest product that's possible on the market. You know,
not to mention it has a really good shelf life. The ones you had given me in part 1, right? The ones that were in the box.
Yeah.
I think I had those things in the fridge for a week, 2 weeks.
And absolutely.
And I still pulled them out and I was like, they're still great.
For sure. So that's the cool thing, like with lion's mane, because it's so dense, I've had it sit in there for a month.
Wow.
You know, I just don't tell people to like go about it that way, but like you've got a solid 2 weeks on lion's mane mushrooms in there. Oyster mushrooms, not so much.
They want to dry out a little bit. I noticed
because they have all those gills, so they're just breathing in like crazy, and they're easier to dry out. But yeah, the lion's mane's got a lot bigger shelf life, and it's man, it's just so versatile. I love this mushroom more than anything.
You want to go swing over to the oyster?
Yeah, let's go check them out.
Oyster Bay.
Let's do it.
All right, where do you want this guy?
You just put them right back down there. I'm gonna go give this to the guys. We're always building. We're always crafting here at Windy City Mushrooms. There's always something new going on. Sir?
Yes.
Good to see you. This is Marcelino. He's been with us since day 1. He's the longest living employee at Windy City Mushrooms. He's our packer and mushroom master packer. He knows all the beautiful ones and he knows how to do it well. Let's go check out his station. So all the boxes get prepped and ready. So what we were talking about is like everything gets harvested, and we're gonna go check out the oyster mushroom rooms. But everything gets harvested, brought over to Marcelino, and what we do is get them packed up in our 6-pound boxes that then get loaded and then put in the cooler as orders come in. We deliver every single night from our distribution company. They come and pick up 100 of boxes at a time, and then they go bring them out to restaurants and other places. But we also do half-pound retail containers as well that we pack ourselves. So we have an entire packing team that packs Tuesday through Thursday to get the mushrooms over to Whole Foods, Fresh Time, and Pete's Fresh Market.
Right. Super cool.
Yeah. Let's go to the oysters.
All right.
Oh, wait. Come on, Jeff. I almost forgot the coolest part about this whole thing is our interlocking treehouse. So here you've just got more lion's mane mushrooms. They're in their baby stages, but we have a whole set of grow rooms up top. So this is just different forms, different stages of the growth period.
And that also allows you, like you had said about cleaning the rooms, giving them the rest. It gives you the ability to flip those rooms without being out of working capacity.
Yeah, there's always a flow system. There's always rooms getting stocked. There's always rooms getting cleaned. So we have a certain set in production at all times. These stairs and this platform has been a game changer for us. And so here. So you can see the oyster mushrooms are set up differently than the lion's mane mushrooms. You saw those tier racks where the lion's mane mushroom grows up. Well, what we're focusing on here is the side formation of these beautiful oyster mushrooms. And so here is our summer white strain. And these oyster mushrooms are some of the best that I've ever got to work with. They're really adaptable, and their fan formations are just beautiful. Like the gill patterns and everything on them. They're the exact ideal what you want in a mushroom. So these all grow from the sides, and we come in. The cool thing about oyster mushrooms is once we put them in here, it's about 3 days before they get to their pin stage. Once they get to that pin stage, they'll then grow into this full mushroom in 3 more days.
Wow.
They're super fast. One of the most fastest sustainable foods on the planet. Start to finish 4 weeks, and it takes about 1 gallon of water to grow 1 pound of these oyster mushrooms.
Yeah.
From a standpoint of food sustainability, this is really the winner. And oyster mushrooms contain as well as lion's mane mushroom, contain all 9 essential amino acids, making them a complete protein.
And this is what you're using for the Fungitarian product
yes,
as well.
So all the stuff in Fungitarian comes from product that just doesn't make the cut for the grocery store. So after we've harvested and there's these like little babies or stuff that's overgrown here, well, we take it, we get it in food grade safe containers, and we bring it over our kitchen and we cook it down and freeze it and turn it into a product.
Right. So no waste in the
no waste. So everything in the whole facility, the whole concept is a good business, right? So start to finish, we're not creating a bigger footprint of what we're doing. So it allows us to, and that was really, we're the first mushroom farm to do this ever, because that was the biggest problem within mushrooms is that you're always overgrowing. You always need more than what you have, right? So it was really a problem that turned into a solution for us that ended up turning into another business.
Wow.
It was super cool. And then so I'll show you more of the substrate when we go up front, but all the bags in here get cut open, put into bins, and then Midwest Composters comes and takes them out to their facility that then works it into farms and gardens all around the state.
Wow.
Yeah. Sweet. Let's go check out some of those pinks. I know they're here. So you guys saw the spawn, you saw the substrate. Now you get to see them in all their glory. These are the pink oyster mushrooms. They're some of the most beautiful bouquets of mushrooms that I've ever seen in my entire life. They're almost like flower arrangements at a certain point. They have a very fishy umami taste and work wonders in seafood dishes. Mix it with shrimp or anything you desire. I wish I could grow them all year long, but like I said, they love 75, 80 degrees. They're more of a tropical oyster.
Now, do these grow in smaller clusters, smaller petals than the whites that we saw?
So
like those were bigger, a little bit
more. You can see the difference now a little bit, right? Yeah. Each oyster has its own formation that it grows out on. Blue oysters like to cap up more. Brown Italian oysters, they like to be wavy. The elms, they grow big or expand out. And also it's on, cycle, right? If I let them sit a little longer, they'll just keep fanning out and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're trying to harvest them at the exact right time. Like this mushroom is perfect. This is like textbook.
That's what you want to.
This is what you want. This is what you want to harvest, and this is what you want to put in there. Like, yeah, that's a A++ for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, it's my favorite. And this is also more packing area with our lovely Snick. She's a delivery manager and helps us with everything that we do here in packing and keeping track of all of our farmers markets and keeping track of all the orders going out at all times of the day, because this is a very large operation and we sell 6,000 pounds of mushrooms a week. So there's a lot of organization that comes with it. And there's a full team of people that do this day in and day out that love it. We love our team, and this whole entire operation couldn't run without everybody. We have 14 people that love what they do, and we try to spread that message into every single one of them so that our customers know that, we love what we do. And when we love what you do, you're able to share that out to the world. So here's another little example of our packing area. They're getting ready to do this today. We have these little half pound containers, and this was really a game changer for us to go into grocery stores. So now we got deals. We white label for this company, Smallhold, and put mushrooms in there. And for Fresh Time and Pete's Fresh Market, we have our mushrooms in these containers. So it's little half pound. And this has really allowed us to preserve shelf life and to really stop the old idea of wrapping a living organism in saran wrap. It's kind of archaic and doesn't really make sense. So this nice compostable container gives it the air exchange that it needs, the good little window, and a strong box that you can just keep in the fridge and compost when it's done. And then we'll go over to the substrate and we'll see the final process of what goes down in here. Well, actually, we're doing a full tour, So then these are just mushrooms boxed up, ready to go, all put in different categories, different sections, some that are getting packed later. We have spawn in the back, and all of these boxes are just getting ready to go out to different customers throughout the day. So we have different delivery drivers come in from different companies and send them all off to the whole city. And I'm gonna pull out some of the Fungitarian so you can see some of that, right? our super high-tech freezers over here. So this is our fungitarian food, which is fully cooked oyster mushroom dishes, which you saw on the last episode.
Yeah, we did the
marinara.
The marinara.
Yeah.
We did that with some pasta. Super easy, super simple.
Super, right? And so that was the whole concept behind this one, is that we wanted to make a product that was a no thinker. That's it. All you got to do is open it up, put it in the pan, heat it and eat it. And it's real food. You're not guessing what's in there. There's mushrooms, avocado oil, and spices. And really it's trying to make your life easier. You got extra beans, you got extra rice. Cool. Put this on top. You know, so we have the 5 different flavors that are now in 100 grocery stores, 70 Fresh Time, Pete's Fresh Market, and only expanding out from there. So this is really something we pride ourselves on, because I think we're allowing to get into the plant-based market that hasn't had many real food options for people, and give them something that's far, far, far more superior than what they've been used to, right? At a pretty fair price, you know? So $10 a bag. Can't really beat it to get superfoods into your diet.
Superfoods, right?
Yeah, you know, pay for the good stuff, right? Pay for it now instead of later.
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, this is, we're really happy and really grateful that this is taking off, and we ask everybody and anybody to head to Fresh Time and give it a try. Cool. As you can see, as like we've been walking through here, there's stuff going on all times of the day here. There's bags coming in, there's boxes getting made, there's boards getting cut. There's always something evolving here at Windy City Mushrooms. And then what you're seeing here, Jeff, if you want to like pan back, is we're going to be adding 25 more containers to the facility. So we'll finish that next row here, we'll skip here, and we're going to have a whole nother set of rows right here. And we're going to leave this area open. We first designed it for 100, but 75 seems like a better fit. So we'll add 25 more containers and get our capacity up to about 12,000 pounds a week. So now, once the bags are done, like I said, it's a no-waste business. So what we do is we take these mushrooms, cut open the bags, get them in these bins, and then we get them out to people all around Illinois. But why do we do that? So this is spent mushroom substrate. This is a block that's already been utilized. It's had about 2 flushes of mushrooms out of it, but it's still got life in it. And so this mycorrhizal fungi in here adds so many nutrients and life and bacteria back to soil that if you put this in raised bed gardens, you put it in anything else, we've ran tests and seen the difference in a raised bed garden with this in it versus just regular soil, and the cucumbers are bigger, brighter, everything looks better. So everything's growing much healthier.
It's just a natural organic option to add back to the soil.
Absolutely. So now we get this out to Midwest composters. They pick this up 1 time a week, and then they add it into their mix that goes all across Illinois, different composts, different farms, different gardens, and it's starting to become a regular thing within landscaping. And so us getting as much as we grow, we're going to keep putting it back into the soil. And so our whole mission here is to grow about 1 million pounds of mushrooms a year and help regenerate 1 million pounds of soil. So as we keep producing up, we're going to keep helping the soil. So we're benefiting everybody else around us by just being in business.
Yeah, it truly is a full circle of the process. This is the final stop? I mean, obviously they come, they pick up for distribution, which is pretty normal logistics.
Yeah, pretty simple stuff. You know, I could explain all that, but a truck pulls up and we load boxes onto there. And other than that, yeah, this is the final step. So this gets loaded in, and we do this on repeat, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. There's just no day off. And it's a blessing that the people of Chicago have fallen in love with our product, and they can see the love that we put into it. And the demand is growing for more readily available superfoods. And eating these mushrooms into your diet is one of the best things that you could possibly do, not only for yourself, but for the planet. You know, like we're truly helping the planet by consuming mushrooms. And I think you can see now that like mushrooms as a whole is just a good thing. And so I'm, like we were talking about, it's the infancy stage right now, but there is a cusp that we haven't even gotten close to the inventions that are about to be coming with mushrooms. There's people building regenerative mushroom bricks. There's people taking out plastics out of them. There's people turning them into different drinks. And we're just now able to start testing about 300,000 species that we've never figured out through HPLC gas chromatography, and able to find out that the compounds in there and what they can do. Penicillin saved the world once, which is mushrooms. So imagine how many more curable things are out there within these mushrooms that we haven't even tested yet.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Thanks,
Thank you
brother.
for having me come out. I know that you guys are always willing to have people come out, see it for themselves.
Absolutely.
The education like that I just got today.
For sure.
But, you know, organizations, groups, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So make sure you reach out. We'll put, again, everything back into the show notes,
Yeah.
but reach out.
Yeah, please reach out. Any kids, any organizations, you know, that's really our mission here is I want to bring in future fungitarians and future mycologists, because if I can offset some young child's mind to explore off, I can only imagine how good they're going to do with it once the future comes. So yeah, please reach out to us. We would love to have tours. We would love to educate as much as humanly possible so that you can start consuming mushrooms.
John, keep rocking it out. Keep doing what you do, buddy.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
And until next time, we'll catch you on the sunny side.